I'm Jason, the world is yours, and today we have a story about UFC lightweight fighter Dustin Poirier shoots down fight with Beneil Dariush next. Quote, that fight's not super exciting, unquote. UFC lightweight contender Dustin Poirier isn't high on a fight with Beneil Dariush. We could just skip past this. Dustin Poirier is coming off of a UFC 281 victory in New York City at Madison Square Garden over Michael Chandler. He got that victory by a third round submission, second round submission. I believe it's a third round rear naked choke. Okay, let me see. That was his first fight since coming off of a loss to Charles Oliveira. So he's on a one-fight winning streak. Michael Chandler was on a one-fight winning streak. His last fight was versus Tony Ferguson, and he knocked Tony Ferguson out with a front kick to the face. Following the UFC 281 event where Poirier defeated Michael Chandler, there was various names floated for the lightweight contender to fight next. One such name is the rising. He's been rising for a while. Beneil Dariush, the Iranian fighter, is riding an 8-fight winning streak. Right, he last defended Gamrot at UFC 280, basically a month before 281 in October. Wow, he's a great fighter. Dustin Poirier, I can't say he doesn't want to face him. That I wouldn't go that far. The former interim champion Poirier discussed the matchup in an interview on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. There, Poirier noted that he respects Beneil Dariush, who's on an 8-fight winning streak, but he's not interested in that matchup next. I don't understand that one. Not really honestly, stated Poirier in response to being asked if a fight with Dariush interests him. Beneil is a great fighter, and he did it the right way. He's a respectful guy, a hard worker. He goes in there and handles business. I respect that, and I'll watch his fights. He continued. But when we just talked about the other names that I fought recently, that one's not super exciting when I think about it. Yeah, I like the tension with opponents. I'm in constant conflict. If it's not with a person, it's with myself. So I kind of need to be at war with something. Wow. Okay, I don't really understand this one. The UFC lightweights it's kind of a crazy division, in my opinion. If you look at the lightweight rankings, it's a mess. I felt like a few years ago the lightweight division was basically, in my opinion, probably the best division, the most stacked division. But if you look at the rankings now, I mean, Conor McGregor, he's still there. He hasn't won a fight in like 5 years. Tony Ferguson, he's still ranked in the lightweight division. He hasn't won a fight since 2019, and I believe he's currently fighting in the welterweight division. Dan Hooker, he did get a victory in his last fight at lightweight, but he was a featherweight a few months ago. So there's not too many more names on the list that Dustin Poirier has not faced in the top 15 lightweight rankings. Obviously, it seems like the name that everybody is not mentioning, but basically sneak mentioning, I believe what's his name? Justin Gaethje did mention his name recently, was Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev coming off of a 5-round decision victory over RDA, Junior Rafael Dos Anjos. So that was a very good victory for Rafael Fiziev. Seems like that victory happened in July of this year, so he's been off for a while. It seems like he may be either matched up with Gaethje next, right? It seems like Fiziev and Gaethje probably will be fighting next. I don't know what happens with Poirier. He obviously 2023, there's the Conor McGregor matchup. Tony Ferguson is not going to be a matchup. RDA, I believe he's moved back up to the welterweight division. Poirier has already defeated Dan Hooker. I believe he's defeated Gaethje. He's defeated Chandler. Maybe he's talking about he wants a rematch versus Charles Oliveira, right? That's very possible that may be a name that he's not mentioning, that, it could be those two fighting for a, a number one contendership match later on in 2023. If he doesn't want to fight Beneil Dariush, I would imagine Fiziev would be the next name on the list, because everybody else he has fought, or maybe he would want someone like Charles Oliveira. I don't know how much heat he will get with Fiziev. Fiziev really isn't that conflict kind of guy. I'm pretty sure he's going to talk a little bit of trash, but he's not going to talk trash like Michael Chandler. He's not going to talk trash like Justin Gaethje. He's obviously not going to. I'm talking about Beneil Dariush. I'm talking about Fiziev. Fiziev isn't going to talk trash like Conor McGregor. And also when Poirier fought Charles Oliveira, was there heat there? I don't know. Charles Oliveira doesn't really speak English. I don't know if they had like heat between each other. I know when Poirier fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, they didn't really have heat between each other. So I'm a little bit surprised that, Beneil Dariush being on an 8-fight win streak, Poirier being ranked maybe like 1 or 2 spots ahead of him, he would probably, why not take a fight like Beneil Dariush? As I mentioned, Beneil Dariush won his fight 1 month before Poirier won his fight, so the timeline matches up pretty evenly. Poirier did go through pretty much it was basically a war. Like, I think a lot of people had Poirier losing the second round. He got beat up pretty bad in the second round by Chandler. He ended up winning the fight in the third round by a rear naked choke. I believe he choked out Michael Chandler. But I don't see Poirier coming back within, by March of next year. So he's going to be out a few more months. So it seems like him and Beneil Dariush match up pretty good. I don't think Fiziev is going to be out after March or anything like that. There's a few... And also there's the lightweight championship fight coming up. That fight will be happening in February, I believe, February 24th or something like that, UFC 284. So you would imagine there's going to be some lightweight angling to try to get on that card. That's a good card to get on if you are lightweight. I don't expect someone like Poirier or even Beneil Dariush to be on that card, as that card is happening in February. So you have to keep an eye on who's currently open for that card to jump on that card. That card is happening in Australia. I don't think there's too many Australian contenders or like that. Maybe Dan Hooker probably wants to get on that card, but you would imagine maybe a Justin Gaethje tries to get on that card. If I'm Rafael Fiziev, I don't know, maybe he could be the backup fighter on that card, or take a fight on that card. Maybe Fiziev probably joins that card, but we'll see who Dustin Poirier fights next. If he doesn't want to fight Beneil Dariush, basically the only 2 names I could think of for the rest of the division, I don't think he wants to go against Justin Gaethje again. I don't think he wants to go that, but it does seem like the next 2 names that he probably wants to fight in 2023 does seem to be someone like Rafael Fiziev or Charles Oliveira. But I think, like I said, with Beneil Dariush winning his fight a month before Dustin Poirier, I think it would be a great idea for Dustin Poirier to take the fight versus Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush really hasn't had that opportunity to fight too many people in the top 5. It would be nice for him to finally get that. I don't see him fighting Fiziev next, and we have to see. I think Fiziev and Justin Gaethje seems like those 2 may get it on next. That should be an interesting fight, and then the winner of that probably almost is guaranteed a title shot. But we'll see who gets on the undercard and who's the stand-in fighter in the UFC lightweight division. Let me know your opinion. Who do you think? It's always fun to do a little bit of UFC MMA matchmaking. Who do you think Dustin Poirier should fight next? Who do you think Beneil Dariush should fight next? My opinion is Dustin Poirier should take the fight versus Beneil Dariush, or wait for the fight versus Charles Oliveira. And maybe if Beneil Dariush can't get the fight versus Dustin Poirier, maybe call out someone like a Justin Gaethje, call out a Fiziev, try to get the fight versus Fiziev. And that's basically, I can't think of too many other people in the lightweight division at the moment for someone like Beneil Dariush on an 8-fight win streak to finally get that recognition. But most likely he's going to get a co-main event or closer to that title shot in 2023, Beneil Dariush. But let me know your opinion of this story. I am Jason. The world is yours. Today we're doing a little bit of UFC matchmaking. Dustin Poirier shoots down a fight with... or the idea. I wouldn't say you shoot down the fight, just the idea. There's just, a little people throwing it out there. He shoots down the idea of a fight with Beneil Dariush. At the moment, he says, quote, "That fight's not super exciting. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the $1 donation button, hit the subscribe button, and tune in for the next video." Thank you for watching.